Okay, we're going to move on to cube roots at this point. Cube roots and square roots are very similar. Cube roots just takes it to the next level. And when we think cube, we think 3. We think of a 3-dimensional object. That's going to come into play in a second here. So let's start with an easy one. 2 to the 3rd power, or 2 cubed is another way that you can say this. Now remember, this can be rewritten in expanded form as 2 times 2 times 2. It's not 2 plus 2 plus 2. It's multiplication. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So 2 to the 3rd power, or 2 cubed, is 8. Let's do a few more. 3 cubed. 3 times 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27. So 3 cubed is 27. 4 cubed is 4 times 4 times 4. Remember, it's 4 multiplied by itself 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 4 times 4 is 16. Times 4, that is going to be 64. And let's do 5 cubed equals 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125. Now, just like with all of these numbers, the square root of 4, the square root of 49, and the answers, it's a good idea to start becoming familiar with these numbers and also these numbers with cube roots. I'm going to stop at 5 because you'll see that my numbers start getting bigger and bigger. But for now, let's start becoming familiar with 8, 27, 64, and 125 when we're talking about cubing numbers 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, we haven't talked about cube roots yet. We've just talked about cubing something. But just like square roots, cube roots are going to be the opposite of these exponents here. So if I wanted to know what the cube root, and the way I write that is just like my square root over here, but I put a little 3 in front. If I wanted to know the cube root of 8, that means I'm asking myself, hey, what number times itself 3 times, 1, 2, 3, is equal to 8? What number times itself 3 times is equal to 8? Well, that's 2. Now remember, the question we asked ourselves for square roots was what number multiplied itself is equal to the number in the square root. That's what we're asking ourselves here, but instead of just multiplied by itself, we're asking it being multiplied by itself 3 different times. So let's do another one. Let's do the cube root of 27. Again, this is asking us what number times itself 3 times is equal to 27. Well, we just figured that out over here. 3 times 3 times 3 equals 27. So my answer is 3. This is the number multiplied by itself 3 times that equals 27. Let's keep going. What is the cube root of 64? What number times itself 3 times is equal to 64? Well, that number is going to be 4. 4 times 4 times 4 is equal to 64. So my answer is 4. And then the same thing down here, 3, 125. That means 5 times itself 3 times is equal to 125. Cool. So when the heck are we going to use this stuff? Well, like I said, we're thinking cube like a 3-dimensional object. So I want to draw myself a cube that is 3-dimensional. Not perfect, but good enough. When we're talking about square roots, we talked about a 2-dimensional surface. Okay, so like the paint on the side of your house. A cube is three-dimensional, meaning like your actual house. And when we're talking about cubes, we're talking about volume. And volume is basically the space inside this whole cube. And it is written as, let's say, 125 feet cubed, or cubic feet. So we know that the volume of this particular cube, the amount of space inside this cube, is 125 feet cubed, or 125 cubic feet. So my question to you is, what are the lengths of the sides? That would be this one here. And so I'm trying to find out what that side is, what this height is, and what this depth is. Now, since it's a cube, all of these sides are the same. And to find this volume, we need to multiply the base times the height times the depth. So this side times this side times that side. So x times x times x, which can be rewritten. Well, x is my base. I want to find a exponent, x being my base. How many times is being multiplied by itself? 3 times. So we know that x cubed is equal to 125. Because again, to find the volume of a cube, we just multiply the base times the height times the depth. And all these are the same, so I can use that same number. So I'm asking myself here, what number times itself 3 times is equal to 25? Another way we can write that is the cube root. And we know from up here, our cheat sheet, 5 times itself 3 times is equal to 125. So my answer is going to be 5. So each one of these lengths are 5 feet.